Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Drawing with Mark. This is Mark, and I'll be drawing Mechamonotremata today, who is seen in Wind Squid number 0. This is a print that I'm putting together here of Mechamonotremata, which I penciled first and started to ink actually a couple weeks ago, but I'm going to instead re-ink what I've already inked using my human hands with I guess computer hands, or at least computer tools, and then finish the drawing with digital inking. There's going to be a crowd down here. They're being stomped on and they're running for their lives. There's buildings on fire and things exploding, and you know, it's what Mechamonotremata does. Got a cup of coffee here, and I'm ready to rock. So let's start. I promise no excitement. I promise no thrills. Just relaxing drawing action. Although I do promise some exciting classic game room reviews later, but that's a different video. So first thing I'm going to do is drop the opacity down here in my ink lines. And actually add another layer in Photoshop. Put some white back there. Let's see, let's do an image rotate. When I was a kid, I was in Cub Scouts. Never made it to Boy Scouts. As you might imagine, I'm one of the least outdoorsy people alive, seeing as how my interests are all video games and movies and television, you know. But I was in Cub Scouts for a little while, and I had to do a project on an animal, and I chose the platypus. I put together this big painting or whatever of a platypus and did all my research on platypus. They're just fascinating creatures. Made all the more fascinating when they're turned into lethal giant killing robots with lasers. This print, like the drawing of Squid Treks I did yesterday, was one of the stretch goals for the Best of Classic Game Room DVD set, which is complete and being authored. I know it's running behind, so I am sorry about that. This particular angle I could never get. So here's the big difference between drawing on a screen and drawing on paper. I prefer drawing on paper, I mean, there's no question. But for professional reasons, I've got to get a lot of stuff done fast, which is where drawing on a screen comes in handy. Also, I have better control. But I can't just turn the paper around with my hands like this, so I have to occasionally just rotate the screen to get my lines in place. And this is the Cintiq monitor. They have a touch version, but I figured that was going to be a disaster, so I did not opt for that one. Pretty impressive piece of equipment. And I've used tablets before. Most of them do not have a screen. And I've never particularly enjoyed drawing with that disconnect where you're looking down at something, or you're looking up at something, but your hand is down doing something else while drawing. I just never really get into that, so this seemed like a far better option, albeit a pricier one. But it's being put to use for the whole year, and that makes it worthwhile. All right, since I'm basically just tracing at the moment, I can talk about a few other things, like this delicious cup of coffee. It's wonderful. Emerald's Big Easy Bold, once again. Keep going back to Emerald. It's good coffee. Working on some classic game room reviews today. Cybernator for the Super Nintendo. And I believe it's pronounced Umehara Kawase for the Super Famicom. And, well, this is a remarkable game. But you see the review of that. And Cybernator's pretty damn cool too, so I was up late dorking around with those last night. Taking them into the Intergalactic Space Arcade to do some recording. Blow up some things with robots. After I draw fire burning people running away from a giant robot platypus. Naturally. Here's his foot. Big web foot stomping on civilians. When I was a kid in school, I used to draw spaceships and stuff, and I've talked about this before. Like, I always like to draw the bad guys from Rolling Thunder. Whenever I would draw spaceships and action scenes and stuff, like 4th grade or whatever, 3rd grade, I always make sound effects. And like, I'm not the only one that does that, right? Or did that. I still kind of do it, not always. I'm an only child, so I'm used to talking to myself. If I was drawing missiles and lasers, like, boo, nah, stop shooting missiles at me. No! Yes, you're in front of me. I'm a giant platypus. My motivation is to step on you and hear your screams. I lost my brushes. Where'd they go? So Umehara Kawase is I think a relatively rare or obscure game for the Super Famicom. And you'll see the review, but it's like this relaxing, cheerful, puzzle-like adventure game that has a Bionic Commando thing where this little schoolgirl uses a fish hook to grapple her way through levels. Yeah. It's actually as cool as it sounds. It's really good. What I'm doing here now is I've moved beyond the tracing into actual drawing and pounding coffee, putting together a background of buildings being destroyed and the glass is being shattered out of the windows, as you can see. And doing this pretty quick, but this is the style of the print. And backgrounds are never terribly fun to draw, I don't think, but I like drawing the people and the things more, but you know, sometimes they're really necessary. A lot of drawings you can get away with no background. But I think it's important to show that Mechamonotremata is crushing a city and that buildings are falling down, right? That's what giant monsters do when they crush cities. And after this guy's done, I've got a print of, I don't have it here in front of me, but I have a print of Ethel, the cyborg ninja. Here's some sketches of guards that are killed in that book. So I was doing some character sketches. I like to work out all the outfits and spaceship stuff and layouts before I actually do the books, so I know what the hell I'm drawing and it's consistent. But after this, I'm going to do a print of her, and then that'll probably be it for the day, to be honest, for drawing. Get back into some video work. Well, let's take a look at where I'm at for the moment. Zoom out, and you can see that I've added the 2 buildings falling down the side with a lot of smoke to bring the whole picture in together. Got a sign down here being smashed and missiles flying into it, and I'm gonna put some heavier lines on the lasers when I'm all done. But still got a lot of detail work I want to do in the buildings, just to make sure that there's a ton of debris back there. That's a big part of the drawing, is that when Mechamonotremata destroys your city, he makes a big mess doing it. And then later I will add the crowd down here running away on fire with cars being smashed and stuff. So it's a pretty complex drawing, but hopefully you've enjoyed watching it being created. So see you next time on Drawing with Mark.